Hello, hello, and welcome back to The Pale Beyond, Week 16. Almost halfway through this circle, whatever that means. So, last time we were at our second camp, and we encountered a huge pack of Emperor Seals. And in entirely unrelated news, we have an enormous pile of dead Emperor Penguins. We also had some discontent about whether we're going to hunker down for the winter, or whether we're going to keep sending out hunting parties. There's a lot of game around here, or so they said. Hopefully I can get people to hunt for this week, and we can also start some hunker preparations. Let's find out. Okay, take requests. Kasha charges into the tent. Captain Templeton! You're out of breath. What is it? It's Curt and Hammond. They're about to knock each other out. Come quick. Best see to it, Captain. Uh-oh. Hey, liking the music. You rush over to the commotion near the boiler. Do you have any idea how much you're jumping the gun? I know how much you bloody want to keep playing in the snow. Playing? I take my work as seriously as you. You don't actually believe that, do you? I know you care enough to go behind my back to the captain. Fine, we'll do things your way. No preparation, no stockpiling. We can all starve to death, but sooner. Great idea. We're not going to get any more prepped waiting around. We need to hunker down. You just like feeling useful and you don't want it to stop. You don't care about the lives on the line. Of course I do. I have experience on the ice. I know the dangers of the winter. You're just too stubborn to do anything anyway but your own. And when you don't get your way, you make a big song and dance about it. Oh, that was what Grimly was doing. You can't help yourself. You're a bloody glory hound, always looking to be the big man. Not hard. Sorry that you can never be the big man. Watch it. It's clear this could quickly turn ugly. Yeah, we don't wait. We don't wait for a gap in the argument. This is too serious of an issue to ask to make a joke right now. What in the hells is going on here? They notice us. I guess Templeton appreciated the taking charge. Curt eyes you before scanning the audience that has assembled. Captain, I'm sorry. Our friend here just can't let the matter go. You're going to get us killed, you idiot. I'm not the only one who agrees with this course. Then get them killed. Get yourself killed. I don't care what you do. Interesting. Fire our gun into the air? Yeah, don't let them sort themselves out. They already have failed to do that. That's enough, both of you. They continue their argument. And just come marching into the middle of camp and... Marching? Bah, unlike you, it only takes me a few steps, cane and all. You could have brought this up in private, but nah. And like you can't survive without an audience, can ya? I'm trying to be reasonable, Hammond. This is just like the ship. You're incapable of considering anyone else's point of view. Everyone else's point of view isn't 10 foot off the ground and still up their own hole. You're such a short man, I thought you'd be above name-calling, Hammond. Told you to watch it. You're being heartless, Hammond. Heartless? I should have fired the gun in the air. I'm the one bloody playing it safe. Kasha turns to you. Captain, aren't you going to do something? Haha, yeah, Grimly break them up. Grimly ain't doing anything for us now. This should shock them out of it. Stepping between them isn't really going to do anything. They've got the red mist right now, it looks like. Yeah, the neutral people did not like that, but I've got a little bit of a buffer for it. Blast startles two of Cordell's dogs. He goes jolting across the ice and out of sight. A lot of people did not like firing the gun. But the sudden noise grabs the men's attention and puts a stop to the fighting quick. After the exchange, both men look to each other warily, their aggressions taken out, the two of them left only with a glow of shame from their actions. Hells, that certainly could have gone better. Despite his jovial comment, Curt is unable to bring a laugh to anyone, including himself. So get that out of your system? Shake hands and work together, right now. That's treating them like children. Okay, did you get that out of your system? Almost in unison. Okay, this is a waste of everyone's time. Leaving them to wallow in their shame. Well, we broke it up. No one else got any further hurt. We do have a bunch of demoralized people. We definitely have someone who is severely wounded. That's 2 Johns from last week. So who else has a serious issue? Yeah, he's wounded and freezing. Nobody has frostbite. It's just wounded and freezing. So he can't work. So I'm going to put him in the med bay, but I might put someone else there, so that'll be one of the last things I do this time. Let's see, I don't think I have any medical comforts right now. Because I made one and I used it. Yeah, nothing else in there. Well, we definitely have plenty of people to send to the photographer. That's one thing. Yeah, morale is now becoming a bit of an issue. Ah yes, the Hunted Penguin store. We can always grab one for ourselves. Just like the pantry back on the ship, and just like the pantry, we can gather up to 3. But unlike the ship, they aren't good for a full 20 every single time. 20 nutrition, I suppose. See if anyone else needs to talk. Nope. Dogs are okay. All the scouts are in their spot. Nothing has changed. That at least is a good sign. Oh crap. When they said the dogs had left, literally 2 of them ran off and we lost 2 dogs. I didn't realize that when they said, like, the 2 dogs run off. 2 dogs ran off because of that gunshot. Eek. Well, this is, probably if I was playing solo, I would just revert and try the other one and then compare the 2 paths. But we're gonna stick with the consequences of our actions here. Including the giant pile of dead penguins. Okay, so how are we gonna deal with this? Well, it's time for the request tent. Let's see what new troubles we're going to have before we start assigning people. Yeah, she's gonna be mad about the dogs. Captain, it appeared that little stunt earlier scared off 2 of my dogs. I would hope you'll have someone assigned to bringing them back. We need the dogs to survive on the ice. Having the 2 extra, like if we could send out full teams of lots of people, was good. Okay, it has to be a team of 3 people. This is more people who should be able to do something useful, and they're probably all going to develop freezing. Feels like my own mistake here, but okay. Bernstyle, Lefty, and Tucker. You're all going out after the dogs. I don't think, like, sending a scout would maybe make this more likely to succeed. Yeah, and not firing a gun to break up arguments in the future. Oh, okay, we got them back immediately. I would deem a captain would have better options. Yeah, but we're an acting captain. He's gonna be so angry we killed all the penguins. I'm sorry, Mr. Glass. Captain, with the colony slaughtered, He's dismayed. Unable to complete my report. Ah. Well, we need to survive for that report to mean anything. I'm sorry. Here's Grimly. Shaw, any spare timber? Crew want me to carve up some totems. Totems? Aye, for good fortune on the ice. Some feel uneasy after what happened. We do have the timber. The timber is meant for burning. We do have more sources of, like, the blubber now. We need the morale, I think, is, as long as this doesn't take more people away, but you should also tell me how many I need to spend on this. But this isn't a key item thing, it's a resources thing, so... Okay, it just took 1. I'm okay with that. Yeah, he thinks it's just nonsense. Well, 6 decorum is not enough for what I would have wanted out of that. But he'll whip up some totems quick. So now we should have totems out on the ice? Yeah, Templeton didn't like us humoring him. I was hoping for more benefit from humoring him. Okay, we finished the morning requests. Okay. Nothing new in here. Great, so we have a lot of very unhappy people to deal with. More people who are just straight up freezing. Let's confirm that that's what's going on. Yeah, freezing. So first thing, we'll have one of our engineers cure 2 people for freezing. It's always Runt. Always Runt. 2 Johns. 2 Johns was going to be healed just from going into the med bay. Nuts. Yeah, the only other person is the engineer who just acted. Okay. So now I need to deal with a lot of demoralization quickly. I'm certain I'm going to send one demoralized person into the tent. And I guess that's Mr. Zack is the only one left that we haven't assigned so far. Because now Mrs. Glossley should be in there. I'm not seeing the new photo for Mrs. Well, I know I assigned her, so maybe it's not as simple as you have to assign each person exactly once to get them into the photo album. But yeah, that's, I don't know, although it may take a few weeks for that to happen. But I will probably assign... Oh. The scientists can help boost decorum by going out on an expedition. I feel like that's what I should have them do. It's funny that it still makes me laugh every time it says that they've gone out on a hunt. They're hunting the test tubes. But I really want to have them do this. Because not just for the research, but the 3 decorum per. So that's the 9 decorum increase. We keep doing like the half rations every time we possibly can. We need a decorum income. And the scientists are the only ones who can really do this. So yeah, sending them out. Okay, yeah, they're hunting for the week. The leopard seal. Has to be 2 people. Oh, interesting. So I get 2 instead of 1 leopard seal this way. But who am I sending out on this one? Runt. He'll take him down himself. Yarr. No, yeah, the scouts... Oh. Yeah, he's still wounded. I guess... I wonder if the medic can cure demoralization. But if I send these 2 out after the leopard seal... I want the leopard seal. Strictly because... Yeah, there we go. Strictly because that gives us like morale just by putting them in the pot. So it's a bunch of food and other bonuses. Someone's going to be wounded, but I've got enough medbay capacity for that. I think this is also an essential hunt. So we've marked them down to hunt as well. Also, I imagine we can assume all of those people are going to come back freezing. So we definitely have a big issue with people getting frozen on our hands right now. So our remaining stuff is, do we send the scouts out scouting again, or do we leave them in the camp and just pick up the penguins? 2 Johns, and I guess our other freezing person. Oh no, we can't assign him to the med bay. I was hoping. What does it say? Cured of all status effects. I assume that should mean morale too, but it won't give us like the other morale bonuses that our photographer friend can give. Let's see. Like maybe it's time to apply gnomes to this. These are all very tough choices. But now you've basically seen the things I'm deciding between. I'm going to weigh this and I'll come back after I've figured out what I want to do. Okay, I think I've got what I want to do in mind. For the freezing person, we're just going to use another one of the big seals to cure the freezing for that, so we don't need to spend an engineer or any other things on that. So that means 2 Johns is going to go to the med bay alone. We don't need to use any other things for that. And in fact, let's just do that right now. Yep, elephant seal in the furnace. It cures that person. And so 2 Johns is going to go in alone. The photographer, we're just going to assign gnomes to the photographer. We need the decorum. maybe a new picture. And it's going to cure one person for the demoralization from that. 2 Johns is also going in alone. Nobody else who's demoralized is free at the moment. So get some rest, stop being wounded. And now he's assigned to that as well. Aw, you've got a sleeping big giant 2 Johns over there. So with our remaining 5 people, that is the 3 scouts and 2 engineers. Now, I think I want to just keep scouting as much as I can. If I find a spot that like has the big seals, then more of the elephant seals because they cure freezing. Then I might send out one more expedition after that. But yeah, I'm really worried about. It hasn't really given us a gameplay mechanic option to like hunker down yet, so I'm thinking we're still going to be going out on the ice. I'm not sure what would have happened if we had said like, Hammond, we're going to go with you, and then maybe we wouldn't even have this map anymore. So I still feel like scouting is good, but like if I'm not hunting these guys, I basically want better. But I have emperor penguins, like we have emperor penguins at home, and those are better. So really I'm looking for the elephant seals and the leopard seals as like the big game to hunt. So the scouting is just like such a big deal for this. Like choosing the right places to scout, because I have no idea what's like on the ends here. Tough choices. Whereas like maybe I don't do the gamble, maybe I just assign the 3 scouts to just pick up emperor penguins and we're fed. And I don't have to worry about all the scouting stuff. So yeah, that's the tough thing. But right now, the engineers, like if I don't find anything else to send them to, I can just have the 2 engineers going after penguins. So if I don't spot anything within my first 2 scouting expeditions, maybe I just send everyone else to the penguins. So what did we find? We found the little penguins. Those are not useful. One more scout. Fish. And we're not sending people for fish right now. They cause malnutrition. They are slightly better than the spoiled rations, but it's still not good. Yeah. So real big problem there. I mean, we do have some scurvy cures, but ouch. Yeah, I'm not sure I want to send people out for fish. I just wanted seals, man. Okay, so that's basically like striking out. I think with the remaining 3 people, instead of getting more people frozen, I'm just going to assign our remaining couple of people. We're going to get emperor penguins while we can. We don't know if this is finite or not. But yeah, lifting out and preparing the penguins. Okay. Everyone. Right, we need to feed the pot. Let's see, so we want to cure demoralization. It's time for a leopard seal to go in. And let's just do that one by itself. I mean, I guess it's better to use a fish than the spoiled rations, so maybe we didn't need that crate of spoiled rations after all. Maybe we should have gone with something else back at the ship. But this is like our emergency last resort supplies. As long as I don't have malnutrition, I can go with the half rations. So I'm not going to put that in. Let's see. Yeah, we want them for the furnace, not for the pot. Well, feed that first. Hey, there's one less demoralized person. One of the other ones should stop being demoralized this week. We'll have 2 leopard seals next week. So by next week, the end of next week, hopefully we can have all the current morale problems solved. Fish crates. Nope. Put a couple penguins in the pot, and that should get us where we need to be. Yeah, this is looking good to me. On both sides. We could put more coal into the pot, but yeah, that's true. I am one less one below the option right now. I want to hold on to those as much as I can. We're out of the coal sacks. So we start putting the timber in? I think we do. But we're not into the long weeks of winter yet, so that hurts a bit. We still need to hunt. 3 weeks, or 3 penguins a week is not going to get us through winter. Okay. Everything is stacked up. No one left to assign. Let's go to dinner. Crew have their meal. Dinner is shared and stories are traded. Lots to listen to again. Can you believe the nerve of that Hammond fellow? He's lucky Curt didn't just wallop him. Curt could have handled it better, but Hammond is a prick, yes. Campy knows Curt hesitantly approaching Hammond. I should apologize for what happened this morning. You should, or you want to. We shouldn't give into immaturity. We should be bigger. More mature men. Alright, let's leave it at that. I'm not going to be starting on ye again. Right, good. The two share a brief silence. You can be on your way now. Right, of course. They return to their duties, and you to your own. Should have known this would happen. The chief was bound to fly off the handle eventually, eh? Aye. Can't say I feel bad for Mr. Darling, anyway. You've been bothering my dogs for some time now. They're having fun. Are you shaken by the morning's events? That? I've covered much worse incidents in the city. Yes, but you could return home after that. Grant my dogs a rest. And grant one to yourself as well. Okay, let's get to talking. Yeah, I've noticed a decline in my writings. At first I blamed the cold. Then I realized I would often drink coffee as I write. It's becoming more difficult to keep up the energy without it. Let's see, tell him to get some sleep. Perhaps it's your mood. Understandable. How much coffee would you drink to make such a difference? He's not going to want advice from us. He's used to giving advice. And yeah, he's talking about coffee, so don't criticize his mood. How much coffee would you drink to make such a difference? I admit I had grown quite dependent on the caffeine. It's a shameful thing. I've often struggled with sleep no matter how exhausted my body would feel. It often wouldn't come. Yeah, I know that feeling. Best to channel those hours into research, I've always believed. Let's see if... Captain, I've made a decision. I know enough of these expeditions. There's no guarantee I will return home. My writings are inside a case alongside Dr. Nutley's equipment. If the rest of you return to land without me, I want my writings to be published. Finished, unfinished, it doesn't matter. Wow, everyone's starting to get a bit fatalistic. I mean, we're not in that bad of a position yet, but maybe everyone's just preparing for the worst. But I feel like they shouldn't be this down yet. Well, don't say it won't be published. She wants reassurance. I'll make sure of that, Kasha. I promise. Thank you, Captain. Thank you. I'm only following this crew's story. It shouldn't die with me. You won't die. Good evening, Captain. I escaped a talk with Curt over dinner. Kept asking about my plans for the future. I didn't know what to say. Yeah, understandable. Now, most of all, we should be focusing on the present. Agreed. It's hard to think years ahead when we can barely look a week into the future. I hope I can answer properly in the future. That will be the first step of my plan. Yep, his 5-year plan. Or such. Okay, who's next? Hammond. Can't tend to the furnace? Oh, nothing to say. Cordell. Dogs need their rest? Nothing to say. Curt? You have a pen, don't you? There's something I need to write. Oh, of course. I've been giving it a great deal of thought. I'm going to make sure we all make it back home. But if I don't, I want you to pass something on. Should I die, I want the ownership rights of my films divided up among my children. We'll set them up for many years. Pass that on for me, Robin. Yeah, that's still a criticism, so... I'd be honored to carry that out, if it comes to that. That's what they want to hear. I also want to tell them, yeah, you'll make it out. Thank you, Robin. I knew I could trust you. Okay. No one else left to assign? I don't need to put anything in the pots. Okay, here we go. I'm still worried after when the ship started cracking up every time. Okay, so the fuel rations. Yeah, yet again, nobody is freezing at the start. I really barely sent people out into the snow, but I think maybe the entire research team that was sent out is going to come back with freezing. And I did send people after the leopard seal, so I'm expecting up to 5 people are going to come back to camp with freezing. So if I don't want to go down to no fuel rations, but if I let 2 more people become freezing, that's up to 7, and I can always cure 6 people just by having the engineers do their thing and putting an elephant seal into the not the coal rations, but into the furnace. That'll help someone. So I think I'm good with that. And the food rations, nobody is currently malnourished, so I can allow 1 person to become malnourished and just keep going back and forth between half rations and normal rations. Yeah, morale goes down a little bit, but we are conserving our resources and we need to do that to survive. I am okay with this allotment. 16. They hunted 3 researches. Yarr. Yep, so 1 scientist. 2 scientists. Only 2 of them. Okay. Tashi and Cavity both got freezing, and Tashi was wounded on the sled hunt. But 2 Johns is back. Okay. Yep, 1 person is still demoralized after last week. Let's see, but... yeah, boy, I'm trying to follow along with so many things going on now. But yeah, someone was no longer demoralized, but I still had... it looked like it gave me a penalty for Mr. Gloss. Yeah, he's no longer demoralized. -5 decorum. What? Hang on a sec. Yeah, I guess he was still demoralized at the end of the week, so it subtracted the 5 before it gave me credit for it. Ooh. So now I've got morale issues again. But we have been lower than this. Ooh. Okay, week 17. Here we go. Oh, we've got a nice rainbow at the end of our... uh-oh. 5 decorum. Saved game to tree. So what's going on here? I always grab my penguin first, because that's basically a freebie. So a lot of issues here. Uh-oh, what's wrong with the furnace? Okay, let's talk to Hammond first. Captain, about what happened last week. Sorry. Oh, hey, good on you, Hammond. The furnace, trying to stay warm, aye? Ah, now we have the option to lock down camp and prepare for winter. Ugh. I just like when we were leaving the ship, I keep thinking, 1 more week? 1 more week? Because we really didn't find anything great when we were scouting last week, and that sucked. I was really hoping for more elephant seals or leopard seals. Oops. But the good ones are off the board there, rather than going for the crab-eater seals or the tiny little penguins. I've got plenty of those on the board if I even wanted them. And they're not the best for any of these things. That said, that might be a thing that I can do at the end of the day. That's essentially how I did it with the, when we were leaving the ship. This might be the kind of thing where I can do that last, like the last thing of the day after everyone's been assigned. We lock down camp. That's like what I want to do, but what if something's going to happen that I want to assign people to after I do that? So I think what I'll do, because darn it, this is the kind of thing I really should be able to know gameplay-wise what's going to happen. So just this once, I feel okay like reloading the start of week 17. I want to see what happens when we lock down camp. And then I'm okay with reloading week 17, because I need to know how my options are going to change. Okay, so I tried this, and then it just immediately shut down the week. We went straight to the ration screen, and then it jumped ahead through the entire winter. So Definitely did a lot more than I was expecting, but I feel free to play through this week first. Yeah, a whole bunch of bad stuff happened. Everyone went to frostbite, scurvy, all this stuff, so... Okay, I now know exactly what it's going to do. Wait. So we've got freezing and wounded, malnourished, freezing demoralized, and freezing. Only one demoralized person, so... But it is also a scientist, and I want to send him out, so I guess we're going to cure this demoralization with a cake, or maybe eating a leopard seal. Something like that. But yeah, that's what this yellow thing is. So we can handle that pretty much at the end. Or we can just do it right now. So, no, it's this one. Yes, one of these will cure the demoralization. And we're not going to need much food besides this seal for the week, because this basically covers the half rations we had. And because one person's malnourished, we'll get the spice crates. Okay, now the pot is looking pretty good. So with our freezing people, one of them is already wounded, so the med bay is going to cure that person, which means we can cure with one, use the engineer to help one person, or we can use 2 engineers, or I could send the extra person to the med bay so it doesn't come into frostbite, and I'll just have the other engineer left. It's just trade-offs as to who it is. So, yeah, he's wounded. Who are the other freezing people? They're both scientists. Okay. So what's the best way to assign things? Well, actually, we need to do our requests first. Give it all the information we can. Hey, Runt. Captain, the Runt here's been taking lessons on engineering. How did he fare? Well enough that he's not in my way. That's good enough. I think I'm pretty good. Better than some trained ones I've met, that's for bloody sure. A spare pair of hands is good. Mr. Hammond's scary, but he's a good teacher, you know? Alright, that's enough from you. Seems the young ward has taken to his new calling. I had written off the stowaway, but it seems he really does have some talent. Yay! For validation, Grimly. Shaw carved up those totems for the crew. They're carrying them everywhere now. Makes them feel safe. Oh, good. That's good. Good to hear. Aye, anything to keep the crew steady. Good work, Mr. Stoke. Yeah, I wonder if I'd gotten Grimly a little bit happier with me ahead of time, or maybe when I was telling him to keep it jovial, and then they started making fun of me, maybe I caused that to happen. Oh, let's listen. You can be scary when you're mad, Mr. Hammond. I'm always mad. Aye, but last week you were really mad. Alright, that's enough of that. Alright, sir. Don't bloody call me that. Runt's still being cute. Okay, so nothing really changed. We've got one malnourished person. We're going to handle that with the normal rations. The 4 freezing people, or really the 3 freezing people that... I would just have the engineers raise the heat now, but there's always the chance that, because it's random, it'll cure 2 Johns, or... No, not 2 Johns. Tashi. It'll cure the person who's already going to be cured by the medbay. I think if I have them assigned to the medbay, they won't be randomly selected. But, again, because none of these are mechanics the game explicitly tells you how it's going to happen, you can tell I've done programming, thinking of all these edge cases. So I don't want to simply have the engineers raise the heat until after I've assigned 2 Johns to the medbay. And I don't want to, not to Tashi, to the medbay, and I don't want to do that until I know what I'm going to assign everyone else to. So that's going to be the last thing I do, is the medbay and raising the heat. So I need to keep my engineers and my options open. So, scouting, scouting, scouting. We could still do a research expedition. Decorum is still very valuable. Very valuable. That's probably what I want to have the scientists do. That's using their specialties. The only other thing would be medical comforts. That would be as valuable. But again, the research is basically points. So I feel okay with putting the scientists on this just right off the bat. We need everything it's going to give us. And two of them are probably going to come back freezing again for next week. But we'll deal with that when we get to it. So now we have 6 sailors, 3 scouts. We need at least 1 engineer to be left at the end, and the scientists are now assigned. So we have 2 completely undeveloped paths and 2 partially developed paths. Now at the ends, I feel like it's going to either be fish or those really valuable seals that I want, the elephant seals and the leopard seals. So, oh boy, yeah, I still want to scout these end points. Give me, it's more fish. If I wanted fish, I would have taken those fish. Yeah, the fish, it sucks that the fish cause malnutrition. That doesn't feel right to me. Like maybe if I put 2 fish in, it shouldn't cause a malnutrition. But boy, the fact that it causes the malnutrition just makes them terrible for food. They might all end up just going into the furnace. But it is still something for that. But everything else is so much better for what I want to use them for. I really wanted to find an elephant seal. So, if I'm assigning people just to hunts on the things that are already out here, 3 people are going to the Emperor Seal pile. That's just, I think, a given. That gives me 8 people left. The 2 scouts, the 2 engineers. I think I can still afford to do my scouting. Just scout all the way. Not the puny penguins. Ugh. So at least with this, I could assign them to the big penguin hunt, and I can get more penguins. Oh, max of 4 people there. Yeah. So, 5 emperor penguins on top of all the other ones we have. We still need to be stocking up. That's going to leave me with 4 people. So 2 sailors and 2 engineers. I think I can have an engineer raise the heat, and the other 3 just pull from the Emperor Penguin stockpile we've already got. At least this is a good use of our resources. I think better than simply the fish. So why won't it... Oh, I need to feed the fish to the dogs. I've run out of dogs again. Good thing I've got so many fish, right? Haha. But yeah, also sending out this many parties means we're going to have a lot of freezing people. I'm curious how that's going to work with our potential time skip thing going on. So we have, yeah, the scouts won't get it. We've really sent out the research team and this hunting team in terms of actually dispatching people to things that will develop freezing status. So we should assume 4 more freezing people next week. Okay. So with the 5 that we have left, we definitely want to raise... Okay, that's the furnace. Oh, right. But I was waiting to do that until I knew exactly where everyone was going to be assigned. Because it's 5. So we've got a sailor. Oh, and all 3 engineers. Okay, I hadn't assigned them yet. So that means that I can... If I assign 3 to here, then I'm going to have 2 people left. Yeah, I guess this works out. I assigned my other freezing person to an expedition in the hopes that someone who was already freezing would develop freezing, which was dumb, because I could have just assigned them to the med bay. But because of that, I need to raise the heat twice, which means I can... Oh, I thought I already did that earlier in the morning. Interesting. Away will reunite Runt and Azda, and the other 2 are going to raise the heat. And we'll get as many penguins as we possibly can. Okay. And then, one at a time. Wait for it to process. Okay. And because we need the last person to also do it, it doesn't matter. We're our wounded person is just also going to get covered by this. We will be fine. And now, yes, medbay. Make Tashi rest. And yeah, our malnourished person's already done something. I suppose if I had saved them for the end, we could have gone on half rations again. Well, my own mistake there again. Yeah, there's really optimal ways you can do these things. Because yeah, if I had had him go in with the into the med bay as the second person, then we could have gone half rations again, because no one would have been malnourished, so we could have gone with that. Okay, now we have nobody left. Yeah, if I call the crew to dinner... Interesting. I know that if I do the hunker down, we just immediately go to the rations thing. I wonder if we call the crew for dinner, if we're suddenly going to hit winter, like in the middle of dinner as opposed to at the end of the week, versus being able to talk to people, because we've worked really well with all of the specialists. Everyone but Grimly now actually supports us. So I don't need to work the loyalty angle. I guess this all depends on if it's going to hit me with an annoying event or not. If it does hit us with an event, I can go back and do it the other way. No, dinner is shared, stories are traded. Good, we just get to listen to people talk again. Okay. You got close to Shaw quick. I was designated by our benefactor to be the second officer on this expedition. I'm simply doing my duty. Aye, sure. Hammond, the question? I told you I'm not getting quoted in your bloody report. Calm down, it's not about you. You've worked with Mr. Templeton before, yes? Regrettably. Do you happen to know his age? It wasn't listed in the records, and estimating based on appearance is difficult. He's younger than he looks, that's all I know. Doctor, good evening. Something on your mind? I was curious. You have been awfully quiet after, well, last week's scrap-up. Your visits have been scarce, and you've kept to your own at dinner. Well, I suppose I am still licking my wounds, proverbially speaking. Last week's incident was something of an embarrassment. Well, I just wanted to check in, see if you were okay. I'll be fine, just need to settle this damned pride of mine. Thank you, son, or doctor. Oh, you're welcome, I suppose. And... hunting season seems to be winding down. It would seem we likely have a handful more weeks before the wildlife begins to clear up. Do you ever share your rations with the dogs? They do the hunting, after all, only right they reap some of the spoils. They have their own rations. I'm sure they'd prefer my cooking to that broth. You may try them. I won't stop you. Okay. And talk to everyone again. Nope, nothing to say. Yeah, there's something I want to ask of you. Something difficult. Letters to his parents? Yep. Someone will have to tell my family. Face to face, not through a letter from the benefactor. And I want it to come from someone I trust. Could you? I'll do better. I'll ensure you see your family again. Thank you, but I can't hold you to that promise. Who knows what could happen out on the ice? Not going to allow you to carry that burden for my sake. Okay. I've been looking over the contracts, and I feel an update should be made to your own. Your work has far exceeded your pay scale as first mate. Once we return to land, I will arrange it so that you receive Hunt's promised pay in addition to your own. Yeah, if Hunt's still out there, if we find him, that's not something on my mind. Yeah, the pay divvied up among the crew. We are a glory seeker. I think our character would... That is rather considerate of you. I disagree. It's only fair that you be compensated appropriately. I see no reason to do otherwise. Can't tend to the furnace? He's got nothing to say. Needs their rest. Also needs their rest. So now is the moment of truth. Do we hunker down for the winter, or do we try to go one more week? Well, now that I've managed to fix all of the other issues I was having, I think this is like 3 weeks. Lock it down. We have a large supply of penguins right now. Yeah, what, 18 of these? That's a lot of penguins. Enough for a couple of full hoosh pots from basically out of nowhere. Let's see, I do want to feed the furnace one more time. 6. No one's freezing, so that feels like a waste. Yeah, put one more of these in there, just so I can use the 3 in case I really need it. Okay. So now we can, we have the option of using the full things. Lock down camp and prepare for winter. Let's do it! Okay. So yeah, we need the normal rations. And fuel spent for the week. I'm expecting 4 people to become freezing based off of the 2 expeditions we sent out. So normal rations are not going to hurt morale at all. Like 3 crew members becoming freezing. Yeah, even if I'm at high fuel rations, someone's going to get freezing next week. But I think this is a case where like if we're locking it down for winter, it still says it's only the same effect as normal. So maybe I just stick with normal. Like that's a total of 6 people. I can cure that entirely with the engineers if I need to. If I put this down to half rations, I mean, it still only says 25 there. But yeah, 3 more people freezing. Oh, okay, the fact that this has all 4 there, I'm going to leave it at the normal. Just because maybe more people than I think will become freezing from being out on that expedition. Like, potentially up to 7. Like, if things go super bad. I can always assign people to the med bay to cure their freezing instead of, in addition to the engineers going after it. Hopefully I won't need to. So yeah, I'll leave that at normal. It says 2 freezing, so hopefully 6. I'm okay. Let's go with this. Okay. +1 available crew. Yep, they hunted some more test tubes. Lots of penguins. The long winter continues. Oh yeah, end of week 21. Okay, so that's... Oh yeah, 3 people got freezing on the hunt. Oh wait, but that's a scientist. So we only had 3 people freezing. Yeah, these are the 2 from the frost. Okay, 5 people, we could do 2 engineers and one of those elephant seals. So that's good shape, but what's up with this week 21 thing? Because we were in week 17, I think, and now... Oh, 1 week at 3rd camp. We moved? Uh-oh. What's going on? Well, I guess we'll go through, I don't know if it's saved yet, so let's go through the personal log. We have settled down for the long winter. It will be many months before the canopy is removed, and further travel across the ice will be a possibility. The crew will be here for quite some time. The winter is long and cold and carries out in complete darkness. One can lose track of the days. I don't think they have fared worse already. Maybe it's a break from the work, haha. I don't want to say they may go mad. So, they may see this as a break from their work. No, let's call them tough. Maybe we can will this into reality. Oh hey, we've gone past the halfway point. Nice. To have braved the dangers of a shipwreck and the ice, of creatures set to kill and maim, cold and dark are but another challenge that the crew are sure to overcome. Curt and Hammond. Before the winter set in, the navigator and the engineer came to blows in public amongst the crew. I thought we stopped them before they literally came to blows, though. Drastic measures were taken in order to put a stop to the conflict. I mean, a little bit, but tensions were high. They shouldn't hang on either man. A professional disagreement turning uncivil is not unheard of, particularly in high-pressure situations. Both men still carried the crew's best interests at heart, and tensions seemed to have calmed since this incident. The cold. The coldest part of the world has now entered its coldest stage. In the winter, even words and time can freeze over. The doctor is likely to have his hands full in the coming months, dealing with frostbite amongst the crew. I only hope the young man is prepared for such a task. Ah, okay, now the game is saved. So I have no idea what's coming next. Yeah, from the... Oh, so maybe we're all under this giant tent. Yeah, enter the canopy. Scouting post. I have no idea how this is going to work. But I think I may be over time at this point. So, I probably should wrap this up. Okay, we've entered the long winter. So we moved forward like 4 weeks. It's negative 46 Celsius here, and we are not simply out of the winter after 1 month, so we might... Yeah, I think Hammond said we need to be able to survive for 12 weeks, even at, like, the barest of rations, so I think we're entering the hardest part right now. Ooh. We'll also have to resume this in the next episode. Exciting and blizzardy. So, see you then in the Pale Beyond. Bye-bye.